I keep on dancing for Daddy's gonna turn the trick right now. Shake it, baby.
And welcome back to the Morning Drill. Joining us this morning, folks from the Greater Titusville Development Foundation. Well, we got a whole bunch of people here from the foundation this morning. Larry Flutterman, Mary Lynn Marsh, Terry Funk join us. Good morning, guys. How are you?
Morning.
Luke. Oh, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Exciting week, Oil Fest, and
great week.
The town looks beautiful, and a lot of it has to do with things that you guys have done behind the scenes. Mary Lynn, you want to kind of set this up for us?
Sure. What you're talking about is the Downtown Titusville Facade Improvement Project.
Oh, I wasn't, but yeah, let's start there.
That's what we're going to talk about.
I'm joking.
We just finished up round 2. First one happened last year. It was a small round to start with, 3 buildings. This second round, we've more than doubled the number of buildings and the amount of money we were able to invest in downtown facade improvements. And a really exciting thing going on to coincide with Oil Fest came from an idea from a local business owner that wanted to help support the facade improvement project and add a little extra incentive for people to do a really top-notch job and make a really strong visual impact on these projects. So what this business did was invested an additional $1,500 into a contest. So all this week, starting Monday morning at 8 o'clock through this coming Sunday at noon, people can go onto the foundation's Facebook page and look at an album of before and after photos of all the projects and vote for their favorite or their favorites. You can vote more than once. And at the end of that time period, the photo that has the most likes will win that building owner $1,000.
Nice.
And the second prize is $500. Yeah, so to help them offset their investment because it is a matching grant.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Larry, go back a year ago for this first round. Isn't it amazing what just a little bit of work will do in terms of building community excitement?
Well, that's absolutely right, Luke. We had a donor who was interested in maybe helping out downtown and offered to, put $5,000 into the project, and we were able to use that as matching money. And I don't know the exact amount. I guess we had maybe $12,000 worth of projects with that 5, I guess. So it worked out quite well. And fortunately, we were able to raise a few more funds this year, and I believe there were 8 different projects, or 8 different buildings that are involved.
Wow.
And it's getting out there too. I did a little volunteer work down at Drake Well yesterday, and talked to a number of people that came into the museum, and they were kind of amazed at some of the transformation that's occurred here in Titusville.
Yeah, it's amazing what just a little bit of paint or new signage can do for a building and a business.
Exactly.
Terry, this is Oil Festival weekend coming up. A lot of family members coming back into the community.
It's the greatest thing about the week.
Yeah, isn't it great though when they're going to be able to drive through town and say, wow, that looks beautiful. They do something to this.
You and I always talk about the special feeling that people have for Titusville. And I think when the people come back and they see new things going on and they see improvements in the downtown, I think that it makes them more proud of Titusville. And, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we start to get a lot of donations from people who have left town but still take a strong interest in the downtown area of Titusville. And, I just think it's a great thing when people come back into town. The first thing is always people want to do a drive-through and say, oh, Sheets is putting up a car wash or those types of things. Now they're going to say, wow, look, they redid the steps at the library, or, oh, wow, look over here. Look at how Henderson's Electric looks, and those types of things. So hopefully, I think the projects we've done, we're going to get a lot of bang for our buck this week with visitors coming back to town.
And I think you kind of talked about it during the break. It's amazing. You think they're just small little things that they're working on, like the library, fixing the steps, but it's not till it's done and you drive past, you go, wow. Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah. At first, I wasn't sure the library project would really make that much of a difference but it has. When you drive by, you just all of a sudden look at Benson Library and say, wow, the library looks really good right now.
Yeah. Plus, with the tree gone, it's like you can see the full building now. Yeah. It's like, oh, that is a beautiful building.
Yeah.
Mary Lynn, what about, you see the signs for the foundation everywhere now. That's got to be a great thing for this foundation that kind of just, started, and here you are, you're doing, round 2, you're talking about a contest. It's really grown in the last couple years, last year.
It has. Well, we started right before the fire in Town Square, so our focus was shifted a little bit to help the businesses that were affected recover from that. But yeah, the great thing about the foundation is it's a vehicle for people who want to do something for town to come to us, just like the facade project. Bring us an idea, put a little bit of money behind it. We'll help develop the project. And this one has gone from, I think I told you the numbers. The first round we had $5,000 to award in grants, which was more than matched by the participating businesses. Second round, 35.2.
Wow.
Resulted in over $100,000 in improvements, and we're hoping to just keep offering rounds as long as we get donations and there are buildings that need work and owners that are interested in putting some work into them. We're just going to keep going.
Larry, I would imagine for donors, this is a great opportunity that they're giving money and it doesn't just sit somewhere for a period of time. They give you money and it immediately almost goes out the door into a project that you can visually see. You can just sort of grasp the whole concept. And I think Titusville is a very visual place. You need to see it to almost believe in it.
Right, and I think that's what the facade program is doing for us. Like you said, it's that visualization. It's just nice that people have that ability to kind of foresee things, and we're grateful for the original donor last year to do that, because it got to start off on the right foot. And we don't want it to end there. I mean, even though I know we want to announce sometime in the fall, hopefully, round 3 of the facade program, there are other things that we know that we can do. I mean, we're kind of shooting for the stars. I think I was quoted the other day in the paper that, everything's out there, everything's available for us to do, and it actually is. I mean, I personally would like to see, some improvements, renovation of some of our parks in town. When I came to town 30 years ago, I mean, this town was noted for its parks and recreation, and I'm not sure we're quite there today versus then. But I think we can get back there, and we're kind of hoping maybe the foundation is the vehicle to get us back there.
That's fantastic.
As you're saying, people are going to see what's happening, and I mean, all this stuff is tax deductible because we are a foundation, and if you need those tax deductions, send it our way. That's fine.
Right. And again, I think people are doing that, seeing results. So it's not just going someplace and they feel good maybe in the inside for a few minutes. They can drive by every day and see, oh wow, this has really helped out. This looks fantastic.
And it has to make you feel better about yourself and the place you live. I mean, yourself, if you go through a community and the buildings are nice and the homes are nice, I mean, it leaves a lasting impression. And I think that's what we're doing now. I mean, some of these things that have occurred, I mean, they're pretty unique and pretty interesting.
So Terry, you get some of this success, right? You see people excited and talking about the work being done with the facades. I'm sure at meetings you guys have to be going, oh wow, what do we do next? What can we do? I mean, this is...
Well, I think the great thing is, Luke, that in sports and anything, success breeds success. And I think with this program, it's a case of success breeding success, because even some of the incidental things that have happened where people have improved their facades but not necessarily even come to us, because just the downtown's beginning to look better, I think, or they'll get a grant from us. And once that grant's used up, they say, hey, we want to also do this, this, and this. And they go back and do it on their own. And so, I think actually what the program has kind of had a synergistic effect downtown, where it really has caught on and people are excited about redoing the fronts of their stores and businesses. And it's kind of taken on definitely a life of its own. And we hope that continues to grow.
And it's funny you say that, because I was talking with one business who their neighbor was doing some facade work, and they thought, wow, the place is looking pretty good. I don't know. I better do something.
Peer pressure.
Peer pressure, yeah, but in a good way.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for.
And, we were talking the other day about, take pride going out and taking pride in the community and cleaning it up. Again, getting ready for Oil Festival. Again, you see people out picking things up, and it makes you stop and think, oh, maybe I should be helping, or, what can I do? So at this stage with the foundation, what can people do? Can they give money? Can they serve on the board? What are some things that folks can do to get involved?
Well, I'd say the biggest thing is give money. The one problem that we did have in round 2 was that we had more people wanting that grant than we had money to give out. And so, that's kind of a bad situation to be in. You'd like to have, hey, everybody asks for money. Okay, we can do something.
Right.
As long as the project is a good project. So yes, I'd say the money thing is, again, that's the key. And I think as Jerry said, as this thing grows and grows, I think people become more interested in making those donations. And then, like I said, the sky's the limit. I mean, we can do lots of things with that foundation. That was the whole purpose of that thing. We've got, some good people on the board. In addition to the three that are sitting here, we have Jim Becker's involved in it too, and we have.
Did you say that was a good thing?
Becker?
Yeah.
For the most part.
Okay, all right. I just want to get that clarified. I know no
It's
comments.
a great thing for the record.
Usually it's no comment. I got to get at least one Becker joke in there.
But then we have like Shar Rios on the board also, and Lynn Panensky, who's sitting over there, is on. How come you're not sitting over here, Lynn? She's on the board, and Renee Thompson is the other one's on the board. And then of course the staff down at the Redevelopment Authority, they kind of assist. I mean, that makes this whole thing work. And Mary Lynn she's the coordinator as far as I'm concerned. She makes it happen. If it wasn't for her, we'd be lost, right, Terry?
One thing people can do this week in particular is to go to the Foundation's Facebook page, vote for their favorite project, and help spread the word. Share the post, let people know what's going on, whether they vote or not. We want people to know what's happening here. Come back, and if you're coming into town for Oil Fest, go look at these businesses, go in and congratulate the folks who participated, because remember, we provided a grant, but they put a lot of their own investment in that too. So yeah, just help us get the word out. And
if you're like me and you're not on social media, you get your daughter to vote for you. So that's kind of so if people are out there listening to this, then if you aren't on Facebook, Terry, are you on Facebook?
No.
vote by proxy.
But we know his kids are on Facebook.
My kids are on Facebook, but
you need the paper versions of the surveys too, then.
Yeah.
That you have to take.
Luke, the one thing I would say to people is when you have visitors coming into town this week, make sure they see the projects, because social media is a great thing for us. And, there's nothing better than to have someone that's lived in Titusville come back, post a couple things about, hey, look downtown Titusville, look at what they did here, look at what they did there. And as I said, I think this project's gaining a lot of momentum, and that's the kind of thing we want. We want momentum on the project. We want people to be aware of what's been done and to feel good when they ride through town at all the things that have been accomplished.
This is the Morning Drill on Stream Television and the Allegheny News Talk Sports Network. So we're going to recap the contest here again in just a moment. But going back to your point, again, you're going to see, and not just people coming into town, but the people who live here have really loved the work that's been happening throughout the downtown. And again, if they want to try to help out or get involved, donate money. It doesn't take much, does it? If you have an extra couple bucks.
No. Mary Lynn?
Yeah, no, every dollar counts. One of the really nice things about this project is we're able to put 100% of donations straight back out there into projects. We don't need to keep any of that money internally for administrative costs. So if you put in $20, $20 is going back out to a business owner, and actually turns into 40 because they match it with their own money. So yeah, wow. every little bit can make a difference, and you can see it.
So if you're a business owner and you're starting to take notice of what's going on and you want to take advantage of programs like this, I know you're not quite ready to announce the next round. Is that something that they should start that process now anyways? Should they get a hold of you and say, hey, put me on a list, I'm interested in getting involved?
They should absolutely get a hold of us, because there are things they can do to be prepared to submit their application when we do announce. The biggest thing being, vetting your project with us so that it is eligible. We use the Secretary of the Interior's guidelines for storefront renovation, so we need to make sure that the project falls within those guidelines, and then getting contractors out to give a quote and a specific kind of quote, and those things take time. So absolutely, give me a call and we can start getting people ready.
And just to give us, I'm sure every project's different, but what is that time frame? I mean, a lot of people today are, I want to do this now, but there's actually planning involved here. And as you say, you have to talk to contractors and schedule, the time that they can work on it. So are you talking maybe a couple months of planning?
Yeah, a couple months is probably about right. We plan to announce the next round in September, and we'll get the dates out when we have that firmed up. There will be a workshop to bring people in so we can go through all of the guidelines and the requirements of the application. People will have at least a month to turn their application around from the time we announce it, and then probably another month or so to review the applications, get contracts in place, and our goal is to be ready to start these projects absolutely as soon as the snow melts, so they have time to get their projects done during the good weather.
We'd like to get it earlier for the next round because, you know, our whole thing was to get the projects completed before Oil Festival, and we're going to do it, but just barely. And but you know, we like to have that done even 1st of June, I guess, or whatever. And so everything's going to be, we're going to move that clock up a little bit just to make that sure that happens.
Larry, I would imagine that projects like this really help when it comes to maybe recruiting businesses to come into a community, just to have a nice clean look, or, you know, fresh paint. It's amazing what a coat of paint will do. But you know, when it comes to, you know, people maybe considering opening a business in town or bringing a business in town, having a nice looking downtown is important, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't say anything different than that. You know, you take pride in the town, and if you're going to become part of that town, that pride goes with it. So,
and Terry, for you in education, I know that was something you always sort of instilled in the kids, and you were in education for just 1 or 2 years, but it was enough. It was enough to teach kids, you know, hey, it's important to take pride in not only yourself but your community.
Luke, I always think back when Nancy and I came to the community, Howard Newsom was the superintendent, and Howard Newsom would always preach that when business and industry in a community is healthy, education is healthy. And it's a partnership that walks hand in hand, and so you have to have a strong downtown, a strong business community, strong industries for your educational system to flourish.
And you see that with people taking pride still in Titusville, even if they're not living here.
Right.
And you'll see that this weekend when folks come back. You see it when you head to, you know, the Florida reunion. All those people. It's amazing how many of those folks in Florida, Terry, say, "Boy, you know, we haven't been there in 20 years, but you know, we're keeping track of what's going on."
But we've heard.
But
we've heard
yes.
this. We've heard that. So yeah.
And again, here's an opportunity to help out. If you grew up here, you love it here, you want to see business thrive here, help support the foundation and everything that you guys are doing there. And congratulations for all the work that you guys have put in. I know the two on the end here are probably saying it's all Mary Lynn.
It is.
Not true. Not true.
We enjoy working with her. And I really think Larry hit it with, we have a nice group. We have a wonderful group, and everybody contributes in their own way, and it works.
Well, everybody has a passion for the community, and
Right.
that probably is very helpful in saying, you know, what's the project? Let's do it, and let's be successful
our
at it.
board is fantastic, and very hands-on and very involved, and the decisions for these facade grants are made by the board after very careful consideration and review and prioritizing and trying to stretch the dollars that we have as far as we can.
It has to be fun to look at some of these plans, though, and say, "Wow, this is what they want to do. This is fantastic."
yeah.
So it probably motivates you even more to try to say, "Let's get these funds so we can do this."
Absolutely.
And some of us have a vested interest, Luke, because, you know, I've got grandkids in town, so I'm not going any place. So, you know, like I said, when I came to town 30 years ago, you know, like the parks and that sort of thing were top notch. And boy, I'd sure like to get back there again. And I think the mayor and the city manager kind of agree with us. So,
And they've been doing some great things just this summer.
yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that? It's funny because it's usually the first question when somebody retires: "Are you staying here? Are you moving?"
Yeah.
And I think it's, well, no, we've got family here, and
Right.
you know, we're committed here. The roots are here. We're staying.
Bookend by two
Yeah.
retirees who stayed.
Yeah.
I spent last week in Arizona. I want to be in Titusville.
And my son lives in Washington, D.C., and I'm not going there, I'll tell you that much. So.
All right. So let's recap what's going on right now with the contest.
Facade Improvement Contest. Go to the Greater Titusville Development Foundation's Facebook page between Monday and Sunday of next week, between the 8th and the 14th. Look at the album of photos. You can vote for as many as you like by liking them, and we'll tally the votes at the end of the week. First place gets $1,000.
Wow.
Second place gets $500.
Nicely done. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Have a wonderful
Luke. Thanks,
Oil
Luke.
Fest.
Thank you.
And we'll
Yes.
talk to you this fall.
Very good.
Okay.